If Gamma 1 were to join Dragon Ball FighterZ, how would he look? How would his normals be? How would his supers be? How would his whole entire kit look in Dragon Ball FighterZ? And that is why I'm here today to answer all of those questions you may have as to how this character would be in Dragon Ball FighterZ. So let's go ahead and get straight into it, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, today we are going to be making our very own moveset for Gamma 1. Now you may be asking, what about Gamma 2? Is he going to be featured in this as well? He is going to be here, don't worry, because he is going to be part of Gamma 1's moveset. If you've ever watched any of my other videos, you'll see that I always mention Gamma 1 being like Android 18. So you'll see throughout this whole moveset the inspiration I took from the character Android 18. So I hope you guys enjoy the moveset. I took a very long time into making this. It's probably one of my favorite movesets I've made so far. If you guys really do like this moveset, please let me know in the comment section below, and of course, like the video because that would help me out a lot. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Gamma 1 and his moveset in Dragon Ball FighterZ. So let's go ahead and start with his normals. And the first thing we will be talking about is his 5LLL. But real quick before we do go on, I do want to mention that this is all from the movie. I'm taking everything I can from the movie and putting it into this moveset. Obviously taking it from Xenoverse 2 and some other games as well. I do take a lot of the inspiration and a lot of what I want to make this character look good from the movie. So if you guys haven't seen the movie, there will be spoilers just so you know, but let's go ahead and go and start this thing. During the fight against Gohan base form, Gamma 1 blocks a kick from Gohan and then kicks down against his leg that allows Gamma 1 to quickly knee Gohan in the stomach. These first two hits I explained will act as one, similar to adult Gohan's 5L starter. A few minutes later into the fight, he strikes Gohan with a fierce kick. After landing that hit, he grabs Gohan by his face and launches him away. So hopefully you understand where this is going. This auto combo is going to be pretty much just like MUI Goku, Super Baby 2s, and Vegetos. So not only will Gamma 1 have a 5L starter like adult Gohan, but he's also going to have a grab at the end just like these other characters I just mentioned. To me, this felt like it was the right way to establish this 5L auto combo. It felt natural and it felt like something that would honestly be something that he has in the game. And of course, having that 5L starter like Gohan is going to give him a lot of good pressure. And now we'll be moving on to his 5M auto combo, his 5MMM. Again, going back to the fight against Gohan base form, at the beginning of that very fight, Gamma 1 charges to Gohan with a simple elbow charge into a left-handed hook. And this again will count as two hits in one button. One character that has something similar to this, having two buttons in one for their medium, is Android 21 Lab Coat. Now, of course, this one's not going to be as busted as her 5M. Her 5M range is pretty ridiculous. It's almost like Bardock's 5LL. The 2M of the combo is something I actually made up myself. There wasn't really anything that resembled a 2M in the movie, so I had to take something from my brain and just put it all together. I was thinking of giving him a lengthy 2M, but nothing like Gogeta's, I promise. But as he's doing this 2M, he's doing his superhero pose. I just thought it would be kind of cool to add that in there. That way it's not just some simple little low kick. He's got some spice into it. After the 2M, Gamma will go into his soon-to-be talked about 236M Gamma Impact. So since we have some of the basics out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about his aerials. Of course, his aerials being his J5L, J5M, and J5H. So now we're going back again to the Gohan base form fight where Gamma 1 actually takes control, and you see him coming from the ground up and attacking Gohan in the air. Here in this sequence, you see Gamma 1 starting with an upward punch leading into a flying knee that knocks Gohan back, and then Gamma twists and kicks Gohan down. So of course, his J5L is going to be the upward punch, his J5M is going to be the upward knee, and then lastly, the J5H is going to be the downward kick. Now, you might be questioning the J5M with that knee because of the range of it. If you think about it, it's not going to be that good with range if you're using it to try to do an IAD. Now, when you use that knee, you're not going to just stay in one place. You will be moving, so you will have an extension to it. That way, you can actually reach someone. But as I was rewatching this sequence, I just knew that this was going to be perfect for his air attacks. So now let's go ahead and move on to some more of his normals. So let's go ahead and continue and go on with Gamma 1's 2L. Gamma 1's 2L is going to be something that he did against Gohan base form where he does a low sweep. Moving on to his 6M is going to be the same as his J5H. He will do a spinning downward kick similar to Goku Blue's 6M. Next up is going to be Gamma 1's 5H. Here you'll see in this sequence where Gamma 1 and Super Saiyan Gohan collide, Gamma 1 strikes Super Saiyan Gohan with his knee. So this will be something similar to Super Baby 2's 5H, except if it lands, it won't have two hits. Next up on the list is going to be Gamma 1's 2H. Another sequence with Super Saiyan Gohan and Gamma 1 sees Gamma 1 strike Gohan with an uppercut. Again, this is going to be his 2H. So I wanted to give Gamma 1 some more options, so I did give him a 6H and a 3H. Gamma 1's 3H is going to be a headbutt. That's something similar to Majin Buu's. And just like Majin Buu's, this one's going to be an overhead. There is a moment in this movie where Gamma 1 does indeed actually use his head to headbutt Gohan, so I thought this would be a perfect 3H for him to use. And the last of his normals is going to be his 6H, which is something I actually took from Xenoverse 2. In this clip I'm showing you right now, you actually get to see Gamma 1 utilize his pistol quite a bit. Gamma 1 would bring out his gun blaster and do a quick fire ki blast that acts as a low. And yes, you guessed it, this is a ki blast move, so you can super dash out of this. So now we're going to be talking about Gamma 1's special moves. This move is straight from the fight against base Gohan once again. Gamma 1 rises into the air and dives down with an explosive kick called Gamma Impact. The light version of the move will have Gamma 1 vanish quickly in the air and launch downward with a fiery kick. And since this is the light version of the move, this will not have any sliding or hard knockdowns once the move is landed. One move you can definitely compare with this one is Goku Blue's dive kick. But here is the difference between the two. The 236M version will obviously give sliding, but if this move were to be blocked during a block stream that you are doing, instead of kicking the person away like the Goku Blue version does, this move would actually bounce you upward just like how TN's 214M does. This would give you better options for mixes during block streams. Now the 236H version is going to give you a hard knockdown as well as a bounce, that way you can vanish afterward. But not just that, it's going to give you the same properties as TN's 214H. So just like the 236M, you will have a bounce, but this time with the heavy version it allows you to float, creating way more mix options. So next up on the special moves list is going to be his 214. So if you were wondering where Gamma 2 is going to come into play, this is it right here. His 214L is going to call in Gamma 2, in which she does a simple combo move, much like Android 17's call out move from Android 18. So where are we going to get this simple combo from is of course from the movie where he is facing Piccolo. In the second encounter against Piccolo, Gamma 2 lands a clean left hook, a right hook, an uppercut, and then overhead smash. Now this is way different from Android 18's 214L because there's so much more to it. Now we all know Android 18's 214L on the ground and of course in the air only brings out 17 for one hit. Her grounded and her air 214M lets 17 have 2 hits. Having 4 hits in one button is actually insane compared to Android 18's. In my opinion, having this move as a grounded move only makes the most sense. If we were to allow him to use this in the air as well, I think we would cause a little too much mayhem. Now of course, moving on to the 214 medium version, going back to the first encounter against Piccolo, Gamma 2 lands some pretty solid hits. The attacks that we are going to take for his 214M are going to be the straight punch and the overhead kick. Now the reason why this is going to be his medium instead of his light is because this is going to have a Baby B tracking to it. So much like Super Baby 2's B assist, once this lands, there will be a good hit stun to it to hold the opponent down. So his medium version is a bit crazy, but his next one, his heavy version, is something you'll definitely love. Gamma 1 will again call on Gamma 2, in which he uses his Gamma Blaster. Now this is the one he used against Piccolo where he thought he had killed Piccolo, but obviously he didn't. This blast is going to be much like Z-Broy's A assist. So there's going to be a lot of hit stun with this move. I can already see the comments now and I'm pretty sure I'm being harassed. But we're going right to the next one, which is going to be his 2-2S. This is another move that will call upon Gamma 2. During the second fight against Piccolo, Gamma 2 brings out his barrier. And as you can see, the barrier blocked a special beam cannon. So when I saw this, I thought, alright, let's make it like this. This will be able to block Ki Blast, melee attacks, and beams. But don't worry, this is only going to be blocking basic moves, not supers. And of course, this can be used on the ground and in the air. So now we're going to go into an easier territory, his Ki Blast. Well, more so known as 5S or J5S. His 5S is going to be a very simple Ki Blast. Gamma 1 will bring out his Gamma Blaster and shoot Ki Blast at a reasonable rate. Looking at Android 18 and how fast your Ki Blasts go, that would be the rate that I look for. He will also have a J5S, which will shoot a diagonal version of the Ki Blast. Now, something I wanted to add to the kit is super dashing after landing a Ki Blast in the air. There are only some characters that have this privilege, and I wanted to give it to Gamma 1. I wanted to give him more options with combos, so with that being said, you can do this mid-screen and in the corner. And to finish off with his Ki Blast move, let's go ahead and talk about his 236S. During the fight against Cell Max, you see Gamma 1 charging up his Gamma Blaster and shooting these gigantic energy ball-like Ki Blasts. So I thought this would be a perfect way to give him a 236S and a J236S. Now this move will be much like Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta's Big Bang attack. Now the difference difference between this move and the Big Bang Attack is the startup. It's not going to be a gigantic startup like the Big Bang Attack. So there will be less hit stun and block stun because of that. And the last one for this list of special moves is going to be his 214S. His 214S is going to be a counter. Now reversing back into the Super Saiyan Gohan fight once again, once Gamma 1 starts to learn how Super Saiyan Gohan fights, there's a moment where Gamma 1 has his left hand out and pretty much counters Gohan. Once he maneuvers past Gohan's attack, he goes behind him and grabs him and dunks him to the ground. So yes, he's going to have a 214S counter. Much like the movie, he will be in that stance with his left hand out, prepare for any attack. So once an attack is landed on that counter, he will appear behind the opponent and slam them down, much like Vegeta's 214L. And yes, once landed, you can vanish out of it to combo afterward, and of course, Z change out of. And now we're going to move on to everybody's favorite part of a moveset video, which is going to be the supers. Now starting off with this first level one, which is going to be his 236 LM. In the fight against Super Saiyan Gohan, Gohan blasts a Kamehameha straight at Gamma 1. Gamma 1 maneuvers around the blast and shoots out his own blast with his Gamma Blaster. Just like how you see right now, this can be used in the air and of course on the ground. His second level 1 is going to require his Gamma Blaster once again. Once Gohan unlocks his mystic form, Gamma 1 shoots a shot similar to the one he used after the Kamehameha. The only difference between this blast and the other blast is that this one is shot upward. So you can compare this super with Team Gohan's super and as well as Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta's Gallic Gun. Except with this super, if you were to hold the button, Gamma 2 will appear and use his own Gamma Impact, just like the one he used against Cell Max. And this will give a sliding knockdown. And now we can move on to the level 3, the final piece to the puzzle. Let's go ahead and steal one more thing from Android 18, and that's going to be how the super starts. Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 will do their heroic poses. Right after that, they will strike the opponent with a forward kick. Gamma 1 will use his Gamma Blaster and repeatedly use his 236S against the opponent, much like he did against Cell Max during the fight. Then Gamma 2 will appear, breaking through the atmosphere with his thunderous farewell strike to end the super. For me, this is the perfect way to finish the level 3. That was such a big moment in the movie, and I know how Arc System can be with designs, and I feel like they would nail this one to a T. But since we have pretty much his whole entire kit done, we have one last thing to do before we end the video. And that, of course, is going to be his assists. This will be pretty easy to go through, so let's go ahead and get this out of the way. His A assist will be his Gamma Impact, his 236L. This will be very, very similar to Goku Blue's A assist. His B assist is going to be his Gamma Blaster, his 236S. It's almost like having a Super Saiyan Blue Big Bang Attack, but better. And lastly, the dreaded C assist. So this C assist is going to be a melee-based C assist, much like Android 18's. Gamma 1 will start the assist with his 5M going to his 2H, hitting the opponent in the air. He'll then call in Gamma 2 to do his 214M move to smack them back down. So there you have it. That is going to be the A, B, and C assist for the character. And guys, that is where I'm going to end the video today. That is the full moveset for Gamma 1 if he were to join Dragon Ball FighterZ. Making the moveset and editing this video took a very, very long time to do, so I hope you guys really enjoyed it. So leave your comments down below if you guys wanted to change anything, add anything for Gamma 1. Please let me know in the comment section below, and of course, like the video if you guys liked it. It will help me out a lot, and I will be making a lot more moveset videos in the future. I did my very best to make Gamma 1 as unique as possible and differentiate him from the rest of the cast. Yes, I did take some inspiration from some characters in the game, but that helped me out a lot. It gave me the perfect vision on how this character can be in the game, so I'm very happy with the outcome. So that is it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you on the next one. Peace.